Don't overcook it. Overcook it's no good. It defeats its own purpose. What are you doing? I just said don't overcook it. You're overcooking it. Bring it over.
You want your steak?
Bring it over. Bring it over. It's like a piece of charcoal. Bring it over here.
You want your steak?
Yeah, right now.
Good. There's your steak. Can't wait for this to be done.
No, I
Here.
can't wait.
Good. Okay? Happy? Happy?
That's all I want.
Here. No more. There.
You bothering me about a steak? Huh?
That's
You
great.
bothering me about a steak?
There we go. Now we got audio. Make sure we got proper video. Zoom it out a little bit. Microphone check. Microphone check for the biggest. What's up, guys? guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, they, thems, he, hers, thems. What's going on, crew? What's going on? We're having another Justin Trudeau appreciation stream. We're having we're gonna do a little Justin Trudeau and Klaus Schwab appreciation. We've got to catch up on the situation that's been going on with our friends in Canada. Look at this. We got YouTube live. We got Rockfin live. Just checking the stream status. We're good. We're good. If you're watching on YouTube, second half of this is going to be exclusive to Rockfin. You know how it goes on YouTube. You know how YouTube is. YouTube isn't exactly accepting of our praise of the great leaders of the Great Reset. They enjoy hiding content that actually goes against the narrative. But we are here. We're here to speak our minds. So that's why we like Rockfin. So shout out to Rockfin, where they let us actually speak our mind, let us actually say what we want to say. They have never ever told me, "Hey, tone it down on the pro Justin Trudeau content, bro. Calm it down on the Klaus Schwab appreciation threads." Nothing like that from Rockfin. Thankfully. Let's see. We got. Just pull up my stuff here. There it is. We got good old Justin. Good old Justin Trudeau. We covered the truckers. We covered the trucker strike last week. I think that was Friday. Not much has happened since then. I mean, the trucks have been cleared out, effectively squashing the uprising against the fearless leader Justin Trudeau. I mean, we've actually seen quite a few rather disturbing clips of police brutality, major advancements as far as shutting down people's access to banking, freezing people's bank accounts. All this is going full speed ahead. And of course, I don't think anybody watching this, anybody who's been paying attention to what we've been talking about the last couple of years here, not in the last couple of years. I mean, the last couple of years is in the beginning of the so-called the COVID pandemic. I don't think anybody's surprised has been following our coverage of this, because we know that what they're moving towards is central bank digital currencies, digital identity, a globally standardized digital identity, and all transactions being tracked and traced, along with all behaviors being tracked and traced in a global digital gulag system, essentially. That's what this is, in a global digital gulag, with these bastions of liberal democracy, the harbingers of the free world, right? Freeing us from the shackles of, making choices about what we put in our body, freeing us from these highly difficult decisions of, deciding when to accept medical treatments, right? Freeing us from the burden of getting to decide, what types of foods we eat, even, right? What types of foods we eat, who we associate with, where we live, our ability to mobilize, our ability to move about in the world. These bastions of liberal democracy and freedom and equality, like Henry Kissinger and Klaus Schwab, they're just there to help us. That's what they tell us. Right? They're here to help us to have equality, to have a new economic system, to have equity, medical equity, to have equity as far as the availability and access to mobile surveillance devices, so that people can work at home, so that children can be forced to stay at home, right? Stay at home and save lives. turning the home into basically an appendage of the state. The home becomes a digital gulag cell where people are surveilled and their behavior controlled and modified. This is the future, the present, in fact, that these people are ushering in. So yeah, we're going to be talking about our buddy Trudeau and his heavy-handed response to the fascist, racist, bigoted, transphobic, Justin Trudeau phobic truckers, all them truckers. And we're going to kind of analyze what's going on here, what has happened the last few days, and where this is going. We're going to be pulling a little bit from, of course, our friend Klaus and his book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, which we have covered in detail for the last several years. And now it's finally coming to light. Normies are starting to hear about this, which is great. I mean, you have several recent guests on Joe Rogan, on Joe Rogan's show. Several recent guests talking about Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum, the Great Reset. It's becoming undeniable, right? I mean, and the harder these people push, the more people are starting to recognize, hey, maybe something's going on here. Maybe something strange is happening here. So here we go. We've got, first of all, we're introducing our friend Klaus Schwab. You know, we got to start out light. We got to start out light. Have a little fun, guys, right? We got to live, laugh, love a little bit, you know, and nobody knows how to live, laugh, and love more than Klaus Schwab and Henry Kissinger. And these are two men who, first of all, you can trust, right? These are two men who have been advising some of the philanthropists in government for, how many years for Kissinger? We're looking at well over 60 years of advising governments for Kissinger. Klaus Schwab seems to have burst on the scene in the early 70s. I think it was 1971 was the first, 71 or 72 was the first meeting of the World Economic Forum. So these two men combined have, I mean, obviously they got faces you can trust, right? They have faces we can trust. They have an accent that makes them highly relatable, right? They have dreamy eyes, and they have dreamy ideas. So let's learn a little bit. Let's hear a little bit. Let's live a little bit. Let's laugh a little bit, and let's love a little bit with these two Uber boomers, the Ubermensch of the Uber boomer generation. Ubermensch Klaus Schwab and Henry Kissinger. This is this video is very well edited. I did not edit this video, by the way.
Of Henry Kissinger.
Oh, excuse me.
Henry Kissinger, which really opened my eyes. I wasn't accepted to the seminar, but I sat in. I think he let me in because I was German. And it was relatively shortly after the war. There were not too many Germans here. And this created a friendship which has endured until today. And Henry has been several times in Davos. I met for the first time Henry Kissinger. And I met at the Kennedy School, I met Henry Kissinger. And Henry Kissinger changed my life because he evoked my interest for political issues. So without having been here and having spent this year here, I wouldn't be what I am. I have met practically every leader in the last 40 years. And there were only 3 or 4 leaders who really made a lasting impression on me. Another one was my teacher at Harvard 50 years ago, Professor Henry Kissinger. I'm delighted to see you, Dr. Kissinger, on the screen. And for me, it's a very moving moment. Thank you so much for making yourself available to discuss with the audience here in Davos, with which you are quite familiar.
I think that President Xi's speech was of fundamental significance. It laid out a concept for globalization in the construction of an international order.
Of how we can really create, I would say, a new world order. I feel that we should be very grateful to you, Henry. I would like to thank you very much. I would like to thank you personally also for the 50-year-long mentorship and all the advice you have given me. Thank you, and we appreciate it very much. Please join me.
Okay. Isn't that inspiring? I don't know. All I know that my heart feels open, right? My heart chakra, all my chakras are lit up right now. My root chakra is freaking vibrating. My heart chakra is just emitting waves of light. These are truly inspirational men. Now, all right, Henry Kissinger, our friend Henry Kissinger. Many of you watching probably heard of Henry Kissinger. Many of you probably know about Henry Kissinger. A lot of you probably know more than I know about Henry Kissinger. But for those of you who don't know, just a little bit of background on Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger is a long-term technocrat, policy setter. This dude is a straight-up war criminal. And one of his pet issues, one of Henry Kissinger's favorite issues, of course, is depopulation. The overpopulation problem, as he sees it. And one of the most important documents that I think everybody needs to read. Everybody needs to print out a copy of this. You can find a PDF of it online. National Security Study Memorandum 200, Implications of Worldwide Population Growth for U.S. Security and Overseas Interests, the Kissinger Report from December 10th, 1974. So much like the Rockefeller Population Council document published in 1971? No, 69. 69. So Henry Kissinger, in this document, which was this is commissioned by the United States government, right? This was classified. This was only declassified. When was this? When was this finally declassified? It was downgraded at 2-year intervals and declassified on December 31st, 1980. In this document, they talk about the huge issue, the major problem in the world being the population growth, especially the population growth in what they call the developing world, developing countries, lesser developing countries. The developing world, they saw as a breadbasket, well, not a breadbasket, but basically as a resource pool. All right, they look at the world in this document as pure resources and humans. Right, these nasty little people who won't stop breeding, who won't stop having babies, who won't respect Mammy Earth and sterilize themselves and allow themselves to be vasectomized and should commit ritual infanticide of their children. Those nasty, naughty little people who keep breeding are getting in the way of poor little Henry Kissinger. Right, basically, this is a document declaring that you nasty little people in the developing world are stealing, are robbing poor little Henry Kissinger's future. You have stolen his future. How dare you? And they discuss issues of fertility and how can the U.S. government make it a major policy in the so-called developing world to influence fertility decline. Right? Creating conditions conducive to fertility decline. It is clear that the availability of contraceptive services and information is not a complete answer to the population problem. Okay, it's this Malthusian idea that there are too many people, right? And if we just get rid of people, well, we will have so much better of a world, we can have a better economy, and we can use the resources that these nasty little people are taking from us. All right, so in view of the importance of socioeconomic factors in determining desired family size, right? So economic warfare in order to reduce family size, economic warfare, and sexual revolution, right? Sexual politics, politics of reproduction, right? Getting women in the workplace, breaking up families, normalizing practices that now have been normalized, right? Remember, this is 1974. Practices of sending children to school, preschools, state-run education centers, having a common system of raising children all throughout the United States and its vassal territories. This was a major part of the population reduction ideal here. All right, so these ideas about population reduction, Henry Kissinger has been heavy into this for a long time. Ideas of even forced sterilization of people is something that Henry Kissinger has, of course, spoken about. Pursuing developments, another quote from his document here from the National Security Study Memorandum 200, NSSM 200. You can look this up. You can get a copy of it. You can print that copy out and you can read it yourself. Very alarming. All right, so the following areas appear to contain significant promise in affecting fertility declines and are discussed in subsequent sections. First one they list, providing minimal levels of education, especially for women. So brainwashing women into not wanting children, of course. Number 2, reducing infant and child mortality. Right? So, I mean, this sounds nice. So reducing child and infant mortality, who can disagree with this? They always got to sprinkle in some nice little happy-feely things in there. Expanding opportunities for wage employment, especially for women, right? Make women wage slaves. Developing alternatives to Social Security support provided by children to aging parents, right? Modify the aging process, which, we've seen in the last 2 years. What have we seen? We've seen a almost ritualistic destruction of the lives of old people in care homes. All right, the sectioning off of old people to keep them safe, of course, right? Oh, you can't visit grandma. Grandma can't give her grandbaby a hug. You gotta hug through the plastic, right? All these really cringy, demonic videos that we've seen over the last couple of years. What do these all result in? These all do result in further fragmentation of families, further separation of people, and of course, we've seen over the last 2 years a major decline in fertility rates, right? The lowest birth rates of any other year in the United States have been brought about by these changes that Klaus Schwab, who of course Henry Kissinger's protege, has implemented through policy, right? Through penetrating the world leaders' cabinets. I very much enjoy penetrating the cabinet of Justin Trudeau. Right? This has brought about declining fertility rates. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Pursuing development strategies that skew income growth towards the poor, especially rural development, focusing on rural poverty. So this is kind of a Trojan horse idea here. Oh, we're gonna pull the rural people out of poverty. By pull the rural people out of poverty, what do they mean? They mean push the rural people into cities. They want rural people in cities. This is the idea, right? And when you look at the Rockefeller, where did that one go? Is it? Yeah. The Rockefeller Population Council report, which of course Henry Kissinger seems to have a huge overlap with the exact goals of the Rockefeller Foundation, as published in their report from 1969. They talk about moving people out of rural areas and having mass migration into the cities because people in cities are more malleable, more able to be affected through propaganda. And they talk about the importance of controlling the food supply, in order to feed people what they call, and this is a direct quote, food from factories. The larger population could avoid the price rise by shifting away from consumption of animal livestock towards vegetables and synthetic meats. Again, that's 1969. Perhaps it would shift to a closed system of agriculture. Food from factories. One way or another, a solution can be found. The problem for a growing population is to survey the possible solutions and select the ones it dislikes least. So, and when they say that, it's a very cynical idea. Oh, we'll select the ones that they dislike least. But then later on in the same report, they say, well, we can influence what people like and dislike through media propaganda, through normalizing things through mass media, right? Through sitcoms, right? Affecting how people see families, how people view themselves. We can use mass media to affect them, and it's better to do this in cities because people will be more exposed to propaganda using the technological avenues that have been consolidated, promoted, and forced on the population by these same oligarchs who want to decrease the population and control the education system of that population. So you see this focus on food as a weapon also in National Security Study Memorandum 200. So back to NSSM 200. Again, Henry Kissinger, Klaus Schwab praising Henry Kissinger. He loves this man. This is his daddy. Klaus Schwab's daddy, Henry Kissinger. In the Kissinger report here from 1974. There we go here. Should the U.S. set even higher agricultural production goals, which would enable it to provide additional major food resources to other countries? Should they be nationally or internationally controlled? On what basis should such food resources then be provided? Would food be considered an instrument of national power? Will we be forced to make choices as to whom we can reasonably assist? And if so, should population efforts be a criterion for such assistance? So this idea of creating a closed system of agriculture that is based on heavy inputs from chemical fertilizers, right? An industrial model. And this industrial model makes farmers reliant on loans and international aid, which in the Kissinger report, they talk about weaponizing international aid, making people dependent on this international aid in order to reduce the food supply in these areas. Okay, and this food as a weapon thing, I mean, this is old. This is age-old warfare tactics of starving out your opponents. I mean, Stalin used this against Ukraine. The Holodomor is exactly this. All right, a war on agriculture, a destruction of a population's ability to feed itself in the most highly fertile region in the world, the Ukraine, and the weaponization of food, right? So they talk about openly here food as a weapon. Is the U.S. prepared to accept food rationing to help people who can't or won't control their population growth? So, whoa, I mean, that's a big jump there, Kissinger. Should the U.S. seek to change its own food consumption patterns towards more efficient uses of protein? This is 1974. To reduce the population, we control the protein sources and we ration them. Here's another one. Are mandatory population control measures appropriate for the U.S. and or for others? Should the U.S. initiate a major research effort to address the growing problems of fresh water supply, ecological damage, and adverse climate? Again, using climate change, seeding the idea of climate change as a major veil issue to hide behind while pushing these population reduction ideas. What? Yeah. I forgot to earlier. All right, so food as a weapon, right? Food as a weapon of warfare. Our buddy Henry Kissinger, he's been on it. He's been on it for a long time. All right, so the food supply, the bastardized food supply we have now, the idea of moving towards rationing, right? We see this every year. Every year, more and more talk about forcing people off of farms, off of small family farms, out of rural areas and into the cities. And more talk of people reducing their animal food intake, reducing their food intake, right? Reducing not just food intake, but the intake of good quality animal foods. So big moves here by Henry Kissinger, employing his minion Klaus Schwab. So Henry Kissinger, of course, sees people as meat puppets, sees people as useless eaters, right? He's notoriously Malthusian, notoriously ruthless in his behavior towards people, and notoriously just a straight up war criminal. Right? And this guy's got his hands, he's got his fingers in every single presidential cabinet in the United States for decades. So Kissinger also closely tied in with the Rockefellers through Harvard, being the mentor of Klaus Schwab. And then Klaus Schwab mentoring guys like Trudeau. So Justin Trudeau, this drama actor, son of alleged son of Pierre Trudeau, former Prime Minister of Canada. And from everything I've read about him, a terrible prime minister and a sleazeball of a guy. Pierre was a notorious philanderer. He was childless well into his latter years, and it was rumored that it was well known that he was sterile, that he couldn't have children, right? And he was a playboy. He was a bohemian degenerate in the 60s and 70s. The mother of Justin Trudeau was a notorious, I don't know how to say it nicely, a notorious slut. Right? A notorious slut. Rumored that Pierre Trudeau was also into all sorts of other weird stuff sexually. He wasn't just a philanderer with the ladies. Rumored that he was perhaps a, little into penetrating the cabinets of the other persuasion. You know what I mean? And also rumored that he had strange appetites, things like cuckoldry fetishes and whatnot, which leads us to, of course, Fidel Castro, the alleged possible relationship between Castro and the mother of Trudeau. We looked at the infamous photos of them together last stream. But of course, Justin is a young global leader, one of the young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. And Justin has been at the forefront of a lot of the policies that we've been seeing rolled out here in Koofland since 2020. And of course, these policies moving us towards digital currencies, moving us towards digitization of all aspects of life, moving us towards a digitized gulag of smart cities with freaking smart locks on your house, where you got to, jump through all sorts of behaviorist control hoops if you want to get in and out of your own home. All right, this is what they're moving towards, and Justin Trudeau is at the forefront of this movement, and he was mentored by our buddy Klaus Schwab. So let's take a look, little trip down memory lane, and I think this was 2000. Might have been 2007. Might have been as old as 2007 that we've got this clip of Justin talking about his politics and how he sees the world. So this has been kind of floating around there the last few weeks. It's an old clip, but a really good one to share with, friends and family who might think, oh, I don't know. Maybe Justin's just doing what's best. Maybe he just cares about our health. All right, let's take a look at what Justin really thinks about politics and power.
Even with Sun TV watching for any slip, he was asked which country he most admired and referred to China.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say, we need to go green as fast as we need to start, investing in solar. I mean, there is a flexibility that I know Stephen Harper must dream about, of having a dictatorship that he could do everything he wanted. That I find quite interesting.
Even with Sun TV.
Oh. It's so nice to have this, Chinese communist-style dictatorship. That would just be so useful and to a utilitarian technocrat. So here we go. Where'd that go? All right, next. There we go. All right, so you got Kissinger, Klaus Schwab, Justin Trudeau. He thinks China's awesome. Be nice to have the power that Xi Jinping has. So we got Klaus Schwab here talking about the young global leaders. This is a very important clip. Another one, good one to share with friends and family. I believe this is maybe 2 or 3 years old. Let's see.
We today it's the young generation who should mentor the old generation. When I have a problem with my iPad or so, whom do I ask? My 12-year-old grandson. And he never comes to me to ask something. So except he wants politics explained. But so we have to engage much more the young generation, and that's the reason why we created actually two categories. We created the what we call the young global leaders, which are leaders between 30 and 40 years old, who have become already leaders, but also have shown their social commitment. And I was sitting 5 years ago with a group of those young global leaders, and since they have to be nominated before the age of 40, and they are nominated for 5 years, some of those are 44, 45. So I looked at them and thought how old they are. And that triggered the initiative to create a group or a community of global shapers. And
we created the group of young global toddlers. So the young global toddlers are the future World Economic Forum leaders will guide you into 2050. It's good. This is, I mean, it's a slow moving clip, but giving you a little look into the ideology of the people who come up with these groups, these think tanks, to train these little young global leaders to go out and do their bidding.
We actually are now, this community is active. We have a hub in 450 cities around the world. We have one here in Boston. And in order to have the license to be a hub of the World Economic Forum, they have to do every year one community, they have to complete one community assignment where they show the social engagement. I see here one of the big supporters of the young global leaders and our global shapers.
All right, so 450 cities. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, that is an alarming amount of these hubs. 450 hubs. All right, so the young global leaders. Young global leaders. Thank you, Klaus Schwab, for the little introduction to the young global leaders. Here is
Mr. Justin Trudeau.
Here we go.
Meeting after meeting, Prime Minister Justin.
Again, this is Davos, Justin Trudeau. I think this might have been 2018 or so. When did Kevin Spacey get outed for being just a disgusting degenerate? I feel like that was very recent. This is obviously before this, because this year, Kevin Spacey was actually named by Davos the king of Davos. Like you could look, I mean, it sounds so weird, right? So you have these celebrities parading around. And Kevin Spacey was named the king of Davos, played the piano in like in a drunken self-absorbed celebrity mental illness pageant display of decadence, and it apparently was like crooning to the crowd. I gotta find the part about when he was playing the piano. Spacey, who also met with Trudeau, along with Leonardo DiCaprio, popped into Anthony Scaramucci's annual wine forum at the Hotel Europe's piano bar, where the elite meet after hours. A spy said that at the Skybridge Capital Founders Bash, Spacey was schmoozing with Third Point's Daniel Loeb, Goldman Sachs #2 Gary Cohn, Google's Eric Schmidt, Citigroup CEO Michael Corbat, Billions co-creator Andrew Ross Sorkin, and Bloomberg Television morning anchor Stephanie Rulli. Bloomberg Television morning anchor. All right, so she must have been one of, and we make sure to penetrate the cabinets of Bloomberg Television morning anchor women. What is she doing there? We're told Mr. Spacey then climbed up on the piano in the packed room of delegates, pledged his love for the Davos experience, encouraged people to talk to him on the street, thanked them for watching House of Cards, then serenaded the room. So big power moves by good old Kevin Spacey. Everybody's favorite pederast, Kevin Spacey. All right, so here's Trudeau hanging out at Davos. I think this would have been the same year.
Meeting after meeting, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau rubbed shoulders with the movers and shakers in Davos. From Facebook to Microsoft executives, billionaire George Soros, and the CEO of Schwab.
I'm sure there would have been opportunities or occasions for us to meet there, and I certainly hope so.
Hoping to lure wealthy investors.
To represent also a new, open Canada, Canadian constituency, which always has been a very loyal and very much engaged constituency here in Sephora.
Thank you, Professor Schwab, for your warm welcome. We are gathered here to contemplate whether we are in the stages of the fourth industrial revolution about to begin.
Trudeau's he's a little bit sleep deprived there. He was hanging out with Kevin Spacey late into the night. We are very proud that we have Kevin Spacey penetrating the cabinet of Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau is what he's just. This dude is like the incarnation of freaking. He's like oat milk incarnate. It's like this dude. If you had like a little toy science kit, like one of those little science kits that you drop a few drops of a few different substances and then it like grows a little cool gooey puppet. If that little kit was made of nothing but high fructose corn syrup, seed oils, and oat milk, and oat milk, it would grow Justin Trudeau. This dude is like next level flaccid human being. I mean, I don't understand how anybody can look at Justin Trudeau and think that this is a man of integrity, that this is like some legitimate guy. Dude just reads a script everywhere he is. He's an actor. I mean, he actually was a theater teacher. Let's listen to his little speech here again. This is cute.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Schwab, for your warm welcome. We are gathered here to contemplate whether we are in the stages of the fourth industrial revolution about to begin. There has never been a better time to look to Canada.
Trudeau
Oh, Mr. Trudeau. Justin Trudeau. What if he really should have done this one in blackface? I mean, that would have been so much better. What if he got up there in this like blackface? Yeah, dude, this guy is. This is what happens when you are raised on cereal, breakfast cereal, and Disney movies. He looks like a Disney prince that like on estrogen replacement therapy. He looked like the freaking prince from Little Mermaid on estrogen replacement therapy. All right, speaking of which, we got it. This is what we need to do. We need to penetrate the upper echelons of the World Economic Forum, like Justin Trudeau, and get him to go to chalk.com. We got to get he clearly is not taking his chalk daily, right? We got our buddy Justin Trudeau here is clearly not taking his chalk daily. Hit up choq.com. All you bigots, all y'all bigots, best be hitting up chalk.com, choq.com. Use that code BIG50 to get 50% off worldwide. Prevent this tragedy, right? Do you want to not be like your boy Justin Trudeau here, freaking Oatly milk incarnate? Right? Y'all want to not be like Justin Trudeau, then freaking get up on some of that chalk. All right, they got the highest quality adaptogens for the men and for the women. The men and the women. Highest quality adaptogens over there at chalk.com. I really like the daily. I also I really like the purified shilajit and the Tongkat Ali extract. All right, so the Tongkat, that's good for ladies too, but for men, it is known. It's a super adaptogen, right? A little super duper adaptogen fact. It's a super adaptogen that actually helps your body to adapt to stress, right? But also helps you to correct your hormones and produce better amounts, higher amounts of that highly necessary testosterone that dudes are so freaking depleted in. So you guys make up for Justin Castro's castrato level testosterone by hitting up chalk.com. And guess what? Bigots, you guys get 50% off. 50% off if you use that coupon code BIG50. All right, and then also you will Chalk promises to spend every order you take, Chalk will spend $50. If you use that coupon code BIG50, Chalk will spend $50 on donating some real raw milk to Oat Milk Incarnate, Justin Trudeau, Justin Castro, the Canadian castrato over here. So hit them up at chalk.com. Don't make me use the heavy-handed approach to this, right? Because maybe if you don't hit up chalk.com, huh? Maybe if you don't be going to chalk.com and using the code BIG50, then maybe someone might notify your employer about the things you've been saying in the chat on the YouTube stream. Maybe we can have our ways of figuring out who it is behind these little avatars on here, like Terry Miller, yeah, like Rat Splatigan. Maybe your employer would like to see the type of comments you're making in the YouTube chat and over on Rockfin about young global leaders like Justin Trudeau. Maybe you want to avoid such a situation of Chalk contacting your employer and telling them exactly what type of content you are viewing. Maybe you want to avoid this. And you can also get 50% off at chalk.com. Okay. Freaking Justin, man. All right, so that's World Economic Forum, Justin Trudeau. And when Klaus Schwab said earlier, when he says an open Canada, all right, that was what's going on. All right, we're back. We had a little blip. We had a little glitching out there. The algorithm is on to us. You guys broke the internet. Y'all broke the freaking internet. So many of you were hitting that like button. Too many of you were hitting like. Oh, y'all was hitting that like button and it broke the internet for a second, but we're back. Sorry guys. Let me just make sure we're still streaming. We still good? Refresh this page here. All right. You guys confirm with me if we're back. Confirm with me. You guys scream if I'm back, wherever you are, scream at the top of the lungs. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm half retarded today. Can't even get a sentence out. If wherever you are, scream at the top of your lungs. I want to make sure we're live. Scream at the top of your lungs. Justin Trudeau is a degenerate faggot. Scream that at the top of your lungs, please. Wherever you're at. Okay. All right. I hear you. We're good. We good. All right, bigots. All right, bigots. I mean, look, I'm gonna warn you one more time. One more time. Smash the Trudeau if you like the button. Smash the Klaus if you like the button. So what I was saying before I got rudely interrupted. Before I got rudely interrupted by some sort of a technical glitch. Rudely interrupted. There we go. So when Schwab a minute ago was talking about an open Canada, right? Canada being open. Right? This idea of free trade opening up your economy, right? This has always been a weapon. This has always been a weapon of the liberal elite out of the UK. This was, I mean, not just out of the UK, right? We're looking at a global system now, a global technocracy that's grown out of, essentially the Western liberal model of democratization of the world, right? Forced freedom, right? Freedom fries for everybody, or else. Freedom toast, freedom fries, and freedom shots for everybody. This is the model, right? And free trade was the calling card of the British elite and the banking families, the Sassoon family, during the Opium Wars, right? So we've talked a little bit about the Opium Wars. Maybe we should do a deeper dive on that. Fascinating little bit of history there, the Opium Wars, where the British forced their products into regions in China, of course, opium. And when you look at kind of the history of how they were selling this to the British people, they're telling them, oh, it's free trade, free market. We got to open up the market for our superior, great, fantastic British products, right? Whereas the Chinese are being decimated by opium. People are, their families, their culture is being destroyed by drug addiction. These UK future technocrats, right? The UK was saying, "Oh my goodness, they're fighting against our freedoms. We have to go to war over there in China. We have to go to war to get our lovely British products of opium and free trade back into China." So when he says an open economy, he means open to exploitation by oligarchs, right? By a global cartel of oligarchs, which is the World Economic Forum. All right, let's go back. Let me read this.
Influential, including his flurry of meetings. Trudeau will continue with his flurry of meetings with the world's richest and most influential, including the CEO of General Motors and the president of Switzerland. But we've also learned he's hobnobbing with Hollywood stars, having dinner with Kevin Spacey and Leonardo DiCaprio, as well as rock star Bono.
Whoa. He's hobnobbing. We are proud to say that all of the cabinets of Justin Trudeau have been penetrated by the World Economic Forum, and he has hobnobbed all of our highest members. We have forced Justin Trudeau to hobnob all of the high-ranking members of the World Economic Forum. All right, so, oops. All right, so back. All right, next little piece here. Kind of painting an interesting picture here, aren't we? Here we got Klaus Schwab talking a little bit more about his way of seeing the world. Let's see, I forget which one this is. All right, guys, smash the FASH if you like the button over there. We're learning a little bit more about our friend. We're getting hyped up by our friend Klaus Schwab here, and we are going to have to learn about Justin Trudeau. Well, we've learned a little bit about Justin Trudeau, and we're going to be seeing exactly where these guys are groomed, right? What type of people we're dealing with here as we delve a little bit more into the mind of Klaus Schwab.
Friends, as you know, the theme of this annual meeting is mastering the fourth industrial revolution. I couldn't imagine anybody who could represent more the world which will come out of this fourth industrial revolution. It certainly will be a world, hopefully, not certainly, hopefully, if we take the right decisions, which will be a diverse world characterized by plurality, It will be a world which will
Plurality, characterized by plurality. We see what they mean by plurality, right? They mean they're gonna have cabinets. They're gonna have the cabinets penetrated of people of all colors, right? You're gonna have little Indian cabinet members penetrated. You're gonna have Justin Trudeau in blackface hobnobbing. You're gonna have it's gonna be very diverse, right? You'll even have Native Americans like Elizabeth Warren, at the World Economic Forum. You're gonna have this great diverse group of people, but you're not gonna have any sort of plurality or diversity of ideas. And of course, this idea of we need plurality of ideas, we need plurality of worldviews in our culture. Like, let's make this mishmash global culture. This has always been a vehicle for the destruction of all cultures, right? They sell you on diversity and things like freedom of speech so that the revolutionaries can come in and destroy nations, families. This is how they did it in the Soviet Union. This is what they did to Russia. This is what the Bolsheviks did. This is what the revolutionaries worked on for over 200 years, trying to destroy the monarchy in Russia, right? Trying to get their the nobility class to hobnob around with a bunch of these Oxford types, British intelligentsia, and British intelligence as well. This is what these revolutionaries worked on for 200 years to try to destroy Russia. Was the idea of freedom of speech, right? And by freedom of speech, they mean the freedom to spread revolutionary ideology, right? Revolutionary ideology, highly destructive revolutionary ideology, all throughout the territories, so that they can whip people up into this kind of demonic fervor, demonic revolutionary frenzy, so that they could destroy the existing order and bring about a new order, a new technocratic, global, socially controlled order of the ages. Right, so we got a tip. Boom, where's that tip? We got a tip over here on Rockfin. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure to share the video, like the video. We're going to be doing the second half of this exclusively on Rockfin. Emir Yilkiki, what's up, dude? Says, hey, Tristan. Thank you for your amazing streams. I'm sure you were putting so much time and energy into this. God bless you and your family. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You guys' tips are much appreciated. You know why? Because that's what keeps these channels alive, right? Hey, y'all who ain't tipping, guess what? You're still appreciated, but hey, throw us a bone, like our buddy Emir over here. If you're watching on Rockfin, remember, you can tip. You got that little tip button. It says there's a red tip button. If you are using the browser, actually, I prefer the browser because it allows you to tip. So don't even use the app, use the browser, and the browser works really well. Use that tip button, guys. It says the little red button there, it says tip. I think it says tip $2, but guess what? It's not just limited to $2. You can do like 5, 10, 20 even. We even had somebody the other day. We had very skimpy tips for a while. Then somebody dropped a big old fat like $100 tip the other day. So thank all you guys who do support the stream. You guys are watching on YouTube. You degenerates watching on YouTube. What's up with you guys? Y'all on YouTube, you guys used to actually send Streamlabs tips, guys. If you guys got any questions, if you want to just support the stream, make sure to drop a tip via Streamlabs. There's a link down in the description. Last tip we got on this channel was like a week ago from Streamlabs. What's up with you bigots on YouTube? Y'all used to support on YouTube. What happened to you? What happened to you? Oh, y'all are slipping over there on YouTube. So thank you guys for sharing the videos, liking the videos, and those of you who do support, all you bigots and degenerates who do support, thank you very much for the tips. Use that Streamlabs link, support the stream, share the videos, like the videos, do all that stuff. All right, so thank you guys. And here we are. So back to the World Economic Forum.
Combine significant investments into the future, into our soft and hard infrastructure, with fostering entrepreneurial activity,
At the same time, social responsibility. It will be a young world. It will be a digital world. Now, who could represent such a world better than you, Prime Minister? We are very glad that at the beginning of this meeting, you are talking to us to represent also a new, open Canada. I want to use this opportunity also to thank our Canadian constituency, which always has been a very loyal and very much engaged constituency here at the Forum. But now, I think with you, together with our constituents, Prime Minister, we can make sure that in the future, we strengthen the cooperation even more with your country. Prime Minister, we are very much looking forward to listen to you, and actually the discussion will...
So the bringing in of this fourth industrial revolution, this is what this is really about. It's not just about forcing medical procedures, but that's a part of it. That's a part of it. Eventually, when you read Klaus Schwab's book, which we've been talking about for years now, and people are finally catching on, we're seeing normies talking about Klaus Schwab now. We're seeing Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan getting versed on the World Economic Forum. In just the introduction here to Klaus Schwab's book, he admits, openly says exactly what this fourth industrial revolution is about. So in the introduction, now Klaus Schwab didn't write this whole book. I don't think he wrote much at all of this book, right? He has another writer, the Mallory Thierry, who I think wrote a lot of his COVID-19, The Great Reset book. But his book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, is maybe even more important than the Great Reset book. His COVID-19, The Great Reset book is all about implementing what he lays out in the Fourth Industrial Revolution book. So in the introduction, of the many diverse and fascinating challenges we face today, the most intense and important is how to understand and shape the new technology revolution, which entails nothing less than a transformation of mankind. We are living at the beginning of a revolution that is fundamentally changing the way we live, work, and relate to each other. Its scale, scope, and complexity, what I consider to be the fourth industrial revolution, is unlike anything humankind has experienced before. You catch that first line? The first line. The intense and important, the most of the many diverse and fascinating challenges we face today, the most intense and important is how to understand and shape the new technology revolution, which entails nothing less than a transformation of humankind. This is a transformation of humankind. This is what this is about. This is about changing you. The fourth industrial revolution will be a revolution that changes you. Right? And every revolution has been that. Right? Now, when I talk about revolution, what we've been told in American culture in the West is that revolutions are good, right? That the Industrial Revolution was this fantastic thing that allowed us to just be so free. Right? Now, I'm not against technology. We're not Luddites. But the intelligent use of technology is becoming more and more difficult as everything becomes big techified. The fourth industrial revolution is a revolution of dehumanization. And the Industrial Revolution also, it was a revolution of dehumanization. And every single one of these revolutions, you know what they're really built on? They're built on the blood of mankind. These are built on the back of human sacrifice. Now, I'm not just trying to be hyperbolic in the language there, but this is absolutely true. The Industrial Revolution and its consequences were mass human sacrifice. In England, during the Victorian Age, when this huge industrial push happened, they had children working as chimney sweeps, right? The children, these peasant families that were mass migrated into the cities, to be dehumanized, disconnected from their food supply, disconnected from their land, and thrown into this factory system and basically worked to death. These were children working in there, right? They some of the most abused, and unfortunate children that were the victims of this human sacrifice that was that helped to propel the industrial revolution. Which I forget which he says there are 3 industrial revolutions, and this is the 4th industrial revolution. But the rise of the factory system brought about kids that essentially were forced to be chimney sweeps, right? The chimney sweeps were literal human sacrifice victims. They died of malnutrition. They died of poisoning. Their lungs were full of soot. Their blood pumped cold. I mean, we're talking about, I don't know how many thousands of children sacrificed for this. Now, the 4th industrial revolution, of course, what we're seeing the last 2 years, we're on YouTube, so we have to be a little bit careful what we say, huh? Remember, we're on YouTube. You be careful what you say on YouTube. They don't like when you talk about certain things. They don't like when you say certain words. They don't like that. But what we're seeing now is also mass sacrifice of life in the name of science, in the name of progress, in the name of saving lives, right? And every one of these revolutions is about that. Hey, you're going to get something, but you're going to have to sacrifice. The sexual revolution. What is the sexual revolution all about? It's about human sacrifice. It's about the sacrifice of children in the womb. In the name of progress, in the name of a career, in the name of mammon. And the 4th industrial revolution is about the sacrifice of all of humanity. I mean, it's very subversive. It's a very cruel revolution, what we're seeing now. And the cruelty of it hides behind the veneer of philanthropy. And I guess this is kind of how it's always been, right? This is kind of how it's always been. People won't march off a cliff like lemmings if they don't think that what they're marching towards is this, great utopia. We get sold on a utopia, we get given a dystopia. So yeah, the 4th industrial revolution, led by the young global leaders, all these young global leaders. You got Jacinda over here as well, another young global leader, Prime Minister, right? Is that what she's called? The Prime Minister of New Zealand?
Debate going on right now, raging over whether you can be both patriotic and a global citizen. I always, of course, view these issues through the lens of a New Zealander. And we are immensely proud of who and what we are as a nation, but some of that pride derives from what we've done on the international stage, the first country in the world to give women the vote, our stance on being nuclear free, our role in history creating a cradle-to-grave welfare system. So yes, I believe that you can be both proud of who you are and where you're from, but some of that pride can come from what you do as an international citizen.
Yeah, and of course, that's as long as that pride is based on the revolutionary worldview, right? As long as that's based on destroying families, destroying culture, then you can be proud of it. You can be proud of your progress as a little piece of the puzzle of the global utopia that we're building. That's what you could be proud of, but not anything else. Very interesting. All right, guys, smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share the videos. Share it on your social medias, because YouTube will not share this if you're watching on YouTube. You know what's cool about Rockfin, though? Rockfin does not shadow ban. They do not hide these videos. We're going to be doing the second half exclusively over there on Rockfin. So shout out to Rockfin. Shout out to everybody who shares the videos, likes the videos, and those guys who actually support the stream. Drop a tip via Streamlabs if you can. Drop us a tip over there. If you're going to support the stream, you can have your questions and your comments read live. All you degenerates on YouTube, something about YouTube crew. You guys used to tip like crazy sometimes. Now y'all never be tipping. What's up with that? Drop a tip if you're over there on Rockfin. And if you want to support the streams and support yourself, right? You want to support the streams and support yourself and support your own health. Make sure to, let me pin this message. Make sure to hit up choq.com, CHOQ.com, and use that coupon code BIG50. Use that coupon code BIG50. You're going to get 50% off, highest quality adaptogens, 100% natural, 100% organic, and some of the ingredients are like beyond organic, wild crafted, right? Like that Tongkat Ali, wild crafted Tongkat Ali extract. That one is amazing for dudes, also great for women, helping to balance hormone and is clinically proven to improve testosterone production dramatically in men. The purified shilajit, which is the main ingredient as well in the Chalk Daily, but I like both. I take the shilajit, I take the Chalk Daily, I take that Tongkat 100. What else? The Armor is also awesome. The Armor, right? Highest quality natural supplements and adaptogens for men and women. Hit up chalk.com. They will help you to, they are not global citizens, World Economic Forum, young global leaders. And you can get 50% off, right? Freaking ridiculous discount. 50% off if you use that coupon code BIG50. Got to use the coupon code BIG50, 50% off. And you can support yourself, support the stream we're doing here. Shout out to our buddies at chalk.com. They keep me stocked on my chalk. I gotta take a picture of my massive chalk cabinet. Chalk has penetrated the cabinet of Tristan Haggard. We have penetrated the cabinet of Tristan, and we have put our chalk products into his cabinet. They hooked it up with a big ass box. It was really cool. So shout out to Chalk. You guys can get your big old box at Chalk, CHOQ.com. Use that code BIG50 at CHOQ.com for 50% off and also 50% more climate change with every order. Guaranteed. If there's not 50% more climate change, they will personally increase their carbon footprint in order to improve climate change. So you let them know. All right, so Jacinda, another young global leader. Thank you, Jacinda. You're so good. You're so helpful. You're so nice. Right,
I have
so
to
here's the now viral video of Klaus. We have penetrated the cabinets.
say, when I mention our names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, so that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
And that's true in Argentina too. Wow.
Yeah,
Sorry. That's true in Argentina as well.
it's true in Argentina, and it's true in France now. I mean, with the president, with a young global leader. But what is important for
There you go. Thank you, Klaus. Thank you, Klaus. They penetrated the
Global Summit.
cabinets of every major government, they say. Every major government. Where did that clip go? I had another clip. Where did that go? I had this great clip. Sorry, I've got a whole bunch of stimulus here pulled up. There it is. All right, we're gonna hear that one in a minute. Let me check it. We still live? We still good? There we go. Stream's rocking. You guys on YouTube, you guys on Rockfin. There we go. Quality is good. Okay, all you young global leaders, all the young global leaders out there. Here's a vintage Klaus Schwab from 2005. Play this. Where'd it go?
It's exciting. It's the inaugural summit of the Forum of Young Global Leaders.
Start thinking about your vision of these 3 days and your vision of what you want the world in 2020 to look like.
To 2020, our biggest challenge is to to slow the pace of AIDS and to find a way to find a cure for malaria.
My hope was to meet a lot of people a lot of the folks here knew each other already, and my hope was to meet them for the first time, and it's going pretty well.
There's a lot to be said for creating a network of people under 40. Young means they have more time. Global means they can rise above their parochial national interest. And leaders means they can take initiatives, risks.
Obviously, once we're 10 years further and we're all running countries or huge companies or whatever, it might become slightly more difficult.
Make the ascent together and let the world see the possibilities beyond.
By the new power of science and technology in a world which is increasingly more and more integrated.
It's getting longer. Look at China there. It's getting longer. And family sizes are not decreasing. Now Mao Zedong stopped family planning. He's falling. India's still here. Indonesia is going there. Can you see the Latin?
This is like Henry Kissinger meets Tony Robbins meets 8th grade level PowerPoint presentation. What is that? Oh, look! We are not sterilizing enough women here. Oh no, oh no, oh no! The population is growing. Oh no, 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 no! Oh no, no, no! Carpet bomb them with soy oil. Spread soy oil. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, gives them more pornography. Oh yes. You see, it's going down. Oh, the population going down. The population is now going down. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh no. Oh no. Look, people are starting to go to church. People are starting to have more babies. What do we do? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Give them distractions. Give them distractions. Flood them with pornography. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Give them degenerate food supply. Pharmaceutical interventions. Thankfully. Okay. Population decreasing. Oh, good.
And family sizes are not decreasing. Now Mao Zedong stopped family planning. He's falling. India's still here. Indonesia is going there. Can you see the Latin American countries going down in family size? And the Arab countries are getting healthier and healthier, but still have very big families. The Africans are here behind, and all is falling now. Look at the miracle of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is catching up with India here. It's coming very fast. It's down to three children per woman down here. And the Arab countries are also coming down with family planning. And in the end of the millennium, we have a completely new world.
And now we have a utopia. Oh my goodness. 2 families per 2 babies per family. Oh my goodness. Rob says he's the John Madden of population control. I mean, this is what kind of demon thinks like this? This is what the World Economic Forum is all about. This is what this 4th Industrial Revolution is about. It's about implanting the ideas that people need to be technologically, technocratically managed in their behavior, in their biology, in their psychology by technocrats, right? By a global government technocratic system. This is what they're bringing about. So there's absolutely nothing. There's absolutely nothing that is redeeming about the World Economic Forum. This is a complete degenerate organization, and this is who, of course, is training the young global leaders. This is who trains your buddy Justin Trudeau, and this is who brought about the granny trampling bank account snatching. Granny trampling, all in the name of smashing the FASH too, right? New flu world order that Canada is embracing, right? It just seems like the government of Canada is just going full speed ahead with this nonsense, and they don't seem to be slowing down. They do not seem to be slowing down. So, all right, so we talked about this before. The Canadian government says we're going to take your bank accounts, bigots. We are going to take your bank accounts. We're going to freeze your bank accounts. And here is...
In terms of the financial instruments, which our government...
what's the finance minister, I believe, talking about the methods of control. And again, remember, this idea of a digital ID, of central bank digital currencies, this is the gateway for this to be done across the board. Whenever these people want, to whoever they want, for whatever reason they want. Central bank digital currencies, as they've openly said in UK policy papers from the Bank of England, They said that we want to be able to program this central bank digital currency so that it can only be spent in ways that we approve. We want to determine what foods people can buy. We want to determine what people can use their money for, who they can give their money to. That's about getting rid of cash. It's about bringing in this digital currency system because you can tie in any behavior modification, behavior control, algorithm that you want with the central bank digital currency. So here she is talking about how they're implementing this.
Is using right now to act against these illegal blockades and illegal occupation. We reviewed very...
Oh, and how is it illegal? Well, we're just going to declare it illegal. We'll just declare it illegal.
Carefully the tools at the disposal of the federal government. And we used all the tools that we had prior to the invocation of the Emergencies Act, and we determined that we needed some additional tools. Now, some of those tools, we will be putting forward measures to put those tools permanently in place.
So there it is. Oh, it's just emergency measures. Don't worry. Hey, it's just 2 weeks. I'm going to flatten that curve. Just 30 days. We got to get rid of these insurrectionist truckers. No, and then now we're going to permanently be able to take your bank accounts. We're going to take your bank accounts.
The authorities of FinTrack, I believe, do need to be expanded to cover crowdsourcing platforms and payment platform and their payment providers. So that is something that we need to do and we will do, and that needs to be in place permanently. Some of these other tools, like the sharing of information between law enforcement and financial services, and the requirement of financial services to be reviewing their accounts proactively, and the immunity from prosecution that we have provided to them in doing this. These are extraordinary measures that we absolutely believe are necessary in the current circumstances, that are having an impact, and let me also point out, having a peaceful impact. And the other aspect of the financial tools that I would point to as being really effective and important is being clear that insurance on trucks that participate in these illegal occupations and blockades will be suspended. So we didn't...
So, Chrystia Freeland, of course, is another one of these young global leaders, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Office of the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, and she is the Honorable Chrystia Freeland, according to the World Economic Forum. As Foreign Minister, she led and successfully concluded the renegotiation of NAFTA between Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. She also... Where'd that go? She was a Rhodes Scholar, and she studied at Harvard. And yeah, so here she goes. Here she is. She joined Canadian-owned Thomson Reuters in 2010 as the deputy editor of, let's see, what was that? Deputy editor of Toronto-based Globe and Mail. So she's a propagandist. She's a journalist. So you can trust her. She's a truth seeker. She's a young global leader. So we know we can trust these people because they're associated with the World Economic Forum. She's on the board of trustees of the WEF. Anybody surprised? Anybody surprised? World Economic Forum. They did remove their original article, "You Will Own Nothing and You Will Be Happy" from 2016. You can still find it on Forbes, but they forgot to remove their tweet, "Welcome to 2030. I own nothing. I have no privacy, and life has never been better." Is, of course, from Ida Auken's article, which we've been talking about here since it came out. And it's so nice to see people talking about this more and more. This idea of global technocratic neo-serfdom, digital serfdom that the World Economic Forum is presenting. Oh, it's the sharing economy. It's the circular economy. Oh, it's ESGs. Right? This is all behavior control, behavior modification. And if you look at the people who are pushing this, I mean, this woman Or that, let's get that image pulled up. Look at this chick's eyes. Look at these eyes. Look at those eyes. Those are eyes you can trust, right? Let's get that nice and big. Ida Auken. I own nothing. Have no privacy, and life has never been better. And of course, Ida Auken, she talks like this. Oh, I'm a member of the World Economic Forum. I am a Danish socialist. She's from Denmark. The socialist from Denmark. And why do I need to own anything? I don't have to own my clothing. I just want Amazon.com to rent it to me. I don't have to own a car. I want an autonomous vehicle that would just bring me from my Coon pod in my coffin apartment in the smart city to my pre-approved destination. And in fact, I don't even need to think about which destination I should go to and which approved pod facility I would wish to visit with my vacation allotment time, because the algorithm already knows better. The algorithm knows what's best for me and for society. Ida Auken, another World Economic Forum young global leader. Yeah, so, I mean, these are the people that are bringing about this system. These are the people that are telling us, oh, we just care about you. You know, we just care about your health. The Ottawa police with a LRAD device that can cause permanent damage to the ears. Right, the Ottawa police, under direction of Justin Trudeau with these emergency powers, have been battering the protesters. I mean, it's been pretty crazy. Like, I'm not trying to, I don't want to pull up any of these, you know, kind of really violent videos of the police attacking protesters. Check it out. Here's what the police are saying. There is a clip that we are going to see of that poor little granny getting trampled. Here's the Ottawa police.
Actually hit with some pepper spray. I just have a question. There's some video cameras that the police are using, and some news outlets are reporting that you're gathering intelligence with those cameras. Can you elaborate, like, if the protesters at this point, retreat and go home, are they going to be getting sort of repercussions down the road? Or are you going to be sort of actively pursuing the people that you've been sort of documenting and filming who are still out there protesting? What are your plans after this, after the protest is over?
Thank you. It's a great question. And the simple answer is yes. If you are involved in this protest, we will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges. Absolutely. This investigation will go on for months to come. It has many, many different streams, both from a federal financial level, from a provincial licensing level, from a criminal code level, from a municipal breach of court order, breach of court injunction level. It will be a complicated and time-consuming investigation that will go on for a period of time. You have my commitment that that investigation will continue, and we will hold people accountable for taking our streets over.
Oh man! So the justice will be served, guys. Don't worry. Justin Trudeau, he's smashing the FASH. He's taking a knee with BLM. He's destroying, smashing the FASH out of the fascist, mean, evil, bigoted, racist, homophobe, Trudeau-phobic protesters. And here is a video. I mean, this one's not too crazy, but they are.
That is indeed their livelihood. I think we're seeing another arrest. Yeah,
pulling a trucker. Peaceful guy, and then just kneeing him repeatedly on the ground, just beating the crap out of him on the ground.
In Ottawa, and it appears that there is another arrest.
Another arrest.
I also mentioned we're watching officers, law enforcement, start moving in.
Is that military or is that just militarized police? Oh, we're watching them make arrests. No, you're watching them physically beat the crap out of somebody. They are beating the crap out of that guy. All right, so here's the last little thing. We might even wrap this up. We might even be able to make the whole think we're gonna do a little bit. We got to go over there and do a little bit where we can say what we want to say and get a little bit harsher with the critique over there on Rockfin. Shout out to everybody on Rockfin who watching the video over there, who share the video, who like the video. You guys are on YouTube. Tofu86, what's up, dude? Tofu86, making up for lost time. I remember you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Tofu86 donated $9.99 via Streamlabs. Thank you, man. The stream is brought to you by the World Economic Forum and Tofu86. Thank you, Tofu86. We will use this donation to stop the climate crisis. Thank you very much. Look at that support, showing me that there are some of y'all bigots from YouTube still support, still drop some Streamlabs donations. Putting the link right in there. Thank you very much. We got another tip over here on Rockfin. Is human milk vegan? Thanks, dude. Is human milk vegan? Dropping a $10 tip over there, and he says, FYI, standard workshop on ear hearing protection plus a plastic shield held between you and an LRAD eliminates pain discomfort until you get a couple feet from the emitter. Man, that's crazy. Man, thank you very much, dude. Landon Owen dropping a $5 tip. Says, just wanted to thank you for all the hilarious content. The good global citizen Elmo impression always kills me. Thank you, dude. Is that a request? You trying to get Elmo back in the house? We appreciate the support.
This stream is brought to you by bigots like Landon and Is Human Milk Vegan and Amir. Thank you for your tips. We will make sure to give all donations to the World Economic Forum so that they can help tell all the people that they need to keep putting their pee-pees in their poo-poo and listening to the good global governments and the penetrated cabinets of Justin Trudeau.
Sorry. It's been a long time since Elmo's been here. All right, so here's the clip of it. So, not the best angle, that one. We got a better angle. Trudeau smashing fashes, smashing the fash, trampling the grannies, new health measures.
What is this lady doing? Trampling.
Look at this. They just charged in. They just charged in with these horses. Look at this.
Wow. What is this lady doing?
Just trampling these people.
Trampling horses. Trampling.
There's a lady they trampled. She's just standing there doing, look at this. They just start charging through. She's got a walker. This is an old woman and a walker. And they just come barreling through here. And look at their response. So there was a big response on Twitter. Tons of people saying, what is going on here? And here's what the Ottawa police say. They say the protesters continued their assaultive behavior with the police line. To prevent an escalation of further injury, mounted officers were sent in to create critical space between the police line and protesters. This was done to create a safe distance. As this was happening, a bicycle was thrown at the feet of one of the horses in an attempt to injure it. One person was arrested for intentionally harming a police service animal. Is that what you guys are seeing here?
Come on through. What is happening here? Wow.
That a little bigger.
Wow. What is this lady doing? Trampling. Trampling horses. Trampling. Stop it.
It's so sad.
Oh my God. They just trampled this lady.
And if the horses trampling aren't enough, new health measures. We've got the militarized police that don't have badge numbers or name tags. they're going to come help you get trampled as well. So here's the poor woman who got trampled. Candy, she calls herself Trampled Lady now. There she is. That's exactly what she was wearing. She's there with her granddaughter. Tyendinaga Mohawk. So she's one of these, like, what do you call it? First Nations up there in Canada. The people that Trudeau is always trying to virtue signal like he's on their side. Native, what are they called? First Nations? Yeah. Some Mohawk. Grandmother, peace, love, happiness. And here she is in the hospital. Care to correct the no injuries statement, Ottawa police? I was nearly killed by you. Calls him blackface Hitler. Oh, man. You have both sides of the fake political spectrum now. It's like everything is literally Hitler. So, I mean, look, guys. I know this might look bad for your young global leader. It might look like he's maybe crossing a line. It might look like he's maybe harming people. But this is for our health, right? This is a revolution. This is the fourth industrial revolution. And these health measures, although they may seem heavy-handed, although they may seem like, maybe it might seem like they're, trampling on people's freedom, trampling on the idea of Canada as being this so-called free country, which liberal democracy has always been oligarchy. That's another subject. But, it might seem like that, but remember, this is for our health. This is for progress. This is how you fight bigotry. Sometimes if you want to make an omelet out of bigots, you got to trample some grannies, right? If you want to make a new global utopia, you're going to have to crack a few granny skulls. I mean, this is just basic science. Hello donated $5 on Streamlabs. Thank you, hello. Just see that rolling through right here. Thank you very much. Hello. Muchísimas gracias. Hello. But seriously, guys, like, don't lament. I mean, this lady, look, she might look helpless, but look at you see those eyes? Behind those eyes, I promise you, behind those eyes, in that little bigoted head of hers, there are some hateful and unacceptable ideas that are completely contrary to the tenets of liberal democracy and the spirit of the revolution. That's a counter-revolutionary, okay? Like, you might be looking at her and you see a little indigenous granny, a little Tyendinaga Mohawk granny who loves peace and happiness. You know what I see? I see a counter-revolutionary. I see an enemy of the revolution, right? This woman hates progress, probably hates science. She's probably saying the N-word right while she's looking in her mind. She's saying the N-word right there, probably. Right? She probably listens to like Joe Rogan, just these super extreme far right, alt-right, extreme far right extremists like Joe Rogan and Tim Pool, right? She probably entertains these insane, insane ideologies of like the extreme, super, just so far extreme far right extremists. Like Jordan Peterson or like a Joe Rogan, I mean, they look harmless. That's the thing. But when you know the psychology of these type of people, like these truckers, they look, you might think that those are working class, but they're not working class. They're not working for the revolution. Therefore, they can't be working class, right? Those are counter-revolutionaries. Right, those are not working class people. Those are clearly working against democracy. Okay, so all right. All jokes aside, this poor woman. I hope she's all right. Let's see. When did she post last? She posted an hour ago. There you go. She says, "I don't care how many horses they send to stomp on me. I am not backing down." All right, guys. So, the granny trampling. If you want to make a new world order and the fourth industrial revolution, you are going to have to trample some grannies. And the more grannies you trample, the more you can advance the revolution. We have to bring liberal democracy to everybody And then we can get rid of all of the tools that we use as revolutionary tools like freedom of press, freedom of assembly. We must get rid of those after the revolution is complete. And the counter-revolutionaries will be trampled, will be crushed, and we will smash all the FASH. The fascism will be smashed, the grannies will be trampled, and we will Netflix and chill for the rest of our lives in our coon pods. All right. I hope YouTube is nice. We were nice. We were nice. Again, shout out to Justin Trudeau. Shout out to the World Economic Forum Young Global Leaders. Jacinda Ardern. Shout out to Ida Auken. Shout out to Uncle Klaus Schwab. You know, we appreciate the work y'all doing. We appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. You know, we don't know what we would do without you. Okay, shout out to Susan Wojcicki, right? You're freaking awesome. You're so cool. You know, just don't delete my channel. Don't delete the channel, please. We are good global citizens here, right? We recognize the necessity of, you know, using non-traditional methods to smash FASH, using non-traditional methods like granny trampling. Sometimes these are necessary for the revolution, so we appreciate the World Economic Forum pep talks. We appreciate all these nice little pep talks from Klaus Schwab, and yeah, guys, it looks like we did it. We made it to the end without having to cut the stream on YouTube. Okay, we kept it clean. We kept it within the community guidelines. Okay, those TOS, the terms of service that all the that are constantly shifting and changing. We respect that. We respected it. All right. So where we at? It's getting later over here. Hit up chalk.com, choq.com. Use that code BIG50. If you don't use that code BIG50, you will be considered counter-revolutionaries, right? And Chalk will personally, right? If you don't go to chalk.com, choq.com, the link is in the description. The link is in the chat. You don't get your freaking degenerate, counter-revolutionary, hate thought-having, probably asses up. Lean over there on your device. Get over there to choq.com, chalk.com, and get yourself chalked up. If you don't do that, we might have to get Chalk to fund some Justin Trudeau style stormtroopers on some nice big old horses, on some nice big ass horses to come over there and trample your granny, right? So hit up chalk.com, or we will trample you and your granny. You know, go to choq.com, use that code BIG50 for 50% off store-wide, right? It's a pretty crazy discount, 50% off store-wide. You guys, if you like the videos, share the videos, do all that stuff. Feel free to drop a tip via Streamlabs like y'all bigots on YouTube never do. Feel free to drop a tip over on Rockfin like you every once in a while do over there on Rockfin. Show some love, show some support for the channel here, right? You guys are the main sponsors here. You guys are the ones who keep this going. And if you want to keep your health going, keep your bodies going, all right, and help to get your testosterone levels up if you're a dude, balance your hormones if you're a lady, get your central nervous system firing correctly, whether you're male or female, hit up chalk.com, choq.com. You get a 50% discount with that coupon code BIG50. Also, make sure to hit up our website, get yourself a copy of the Carnivore Cookbook. Right? If you don't want to end up a putrid, little flaccid, oat milk incarnate looking soyum like Justin Trudeau. You don't want to end up looking like Justin Trudeau and talking like Justin Trudeau. Get your health right. Get your health right. Get off the freaking seed oils. Get off of the polyunsaturated fats. Get yourself on the quality animal fats. Quit drinking Soylent. Drink real raw milk. Right? Check out the website. Get yourself a copy of the Carnivore Cookbook. 0 carb recipes for people who really love animals. You guys will love it. The Carnivore Cookbook. You can get that at primaledgehealth.com. And yeah, guys, we'll see you guys next time. We still have to do, there's a lot of interesting stuff about this hacker character. The hacker that, why, you're soaking wet. I'm not going to touch you. No, go. Go outside. That's not outside. Go. Go away. Go. Go. Get out of here. Freaking wet dog. Wet dog coming at me like I'm going to be so happy to see him. Like I'm just going to be so proud of him. You're soaking wet and you smell like a stinky ass dog. All right. All right, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Aaron Burrows, what's up, brother? See you in the chat there. Remo, Ortho Boomer Grandma. I'm about to trample you, Orthodox Boomer Grandma. You best get over there to chalk.com, choq.com. Use that code Big50. You can get trampled. You can get trampled. If I see any grandmas who aren't hitting up chalk.com, we're gonna send some horses to trample you. I'm gonna send my wet dog over to shake himself off on you, get you all stinky. The Orthodox Boomer Grandma says, I hope this granny never gets trampled, but I did have to defend the Orthodox faith twice in the last 2 days. Orthodox Boomer Grandma, shout out to you. Love your name. David Atkinson, what's up? Alex Tremo, what's going on? Terry Miller, Matt, Optimus, I see. Scroll over here on the rock fan. Alaric, what's going on? Tariq, Cody, Alaric. We got Jay Dyer up in the chat. Well, shout out to Jay Dyer, guys. Make sure to upgrade to a subscription. If you're on Rockfin, you can get access to all the premium members content and content like our buddy Jay Dyer over there. You got Whitney Webb also up on Rockfin. Jonathan Pajot just got on Rockfin. All the best stuff over there on Rockfin. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Share the videos, like the videos. Smash the Trudeau if you like the button. Later.
Sadly crying when you part, make my heart your violin.